All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Down South Packers podcast with me, your host, Anthony Boyd. We got my guy, Eddie, back here for another episode today. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll talk a little bit about Josh Jacobs, not go too far in depth with that. Going to talk about OTAs. The Packers were on the field for the first time yesterday, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then Josh Sweat, there's a little trade speculation there, so we'll hit on that. I'll get Eddie's opinion on it. He's very passionate about this one, so we'll talk about that. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. If you don't mind, go ahead and like and subscribe.
Do it.
Go do it now.
I'll hurt you.
You don't want Eddie to hurt you, so please go like and subscribe to the podcast. Without further ado, Eddie, welcome to the show yet again, brother.
Let's freaking go, brother.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling, you know what? I'm electric. One of my highlights of my week is getting on here and talking about the Green Bay Packers with you.
All
So
right.
yet again, to my non-surprise, I'm excited again. Thanks for having me back on. What do we got going on in the Packer sphere this weekend, Anthony?
So obviously, we're going to hit the elephant in the room. The Packers had a very unfortunate situation occur. Josh Jacobs was arrested on a domestic violence charge. We don't know much information about it right now. We've heard a few rumblings of something. He's out of jail now. Obviously, it's a really unfortunate situation. We don't condone any abuse of women, especially not when you're an NFL player. You're huge. Don't hit on women if that's the case.
It's like drunk driving, Anthony. These players that are driving too fast, they got all the money in the world to go do it. You should have things in place when you're a multi-millionaire. You should have, just as everybody that's driving 150 miles per hour down the highway, what are you doing? People leaving the club 2 o'clock in the morning drunk driving? What are you doing? You could own Uber.
Yeah.
Go, just get in the Uber.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you don't have to do these things, especially when you have the money.
No tolerance. Zero tolerance.
Avoid stuff like this. So we're praying that Josh Jacobs did not actually do the things he's been accused of. Again, I'm not trying to say that I'm accusing the woman of being a liar or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a bad situation all around. Don't want this to be the truth with what's happening. One, because I'm a Packers fan, and I'd love Josh Jacobs to be on the football field for the Packers. But two, don't want anyone to be injured. No one getting abused. That's obviously a really bad situation. Can't have that, especially not with women, man. So pray that's not true. But obviously, with that being the case, something that could be a reality for the Green Bay Packers, looking at it from a football perspective, and obviously football is secondary to the real matter. Something that could be a reality with this is the fact that Josh Jacobs could be suspended by the NFL. There's a precedent here where he could be suspended for 6 games, or if more information comes out and ends up being a lot worse, Josh Jacobs could be released by the Packers given the fact he has no guaranteed money left on his deal, and if they wanted to move on from him, they could, which would be very unfortunate for the Packers. But obviously these things are real, and the Packers could start looking for veterans depending on what the ultimate ruling is. Eddie, if the Packers had to move on from Josh Jacobs or he was suspended for 6 games, what do you think would happen in Green Bay?
Well, it's a no-win deal. Like, the Packers actually win more by letting Josh Jacobs go. They save over $10 million in the next 2 years. So it's like the Packers themselves as an organization through this process, unlike a lot of others that have happened, are in a really good place financially when it comes to terms of this. I mean, this is talking outside of all the human elements of it, but we're talking about it as a business sense. They're in a good place to where if these things did happen and it requires a release, they're in a good position. But players going out, I mean, Marshawn Lloyd, my brethren.
Wish we had Marshawn Lynch. That'd be nice.
My guy that I have the most confidence in that's going to be able to come out and play a high-level football has now jumped to the priority list, or at least the top 5 priority list, and making sure this guy stays healthy. I haven't looked at too much on the market, but it doesn't look great for trading for backups. Like, I've seen some things. Can they get Tyler Algier from Arizona? Like, he just signed there.
I think James Conner would be more realistic. If you were getting a running back from Arizona, I think James Conner would make more sense.
But do we need one? Longer. Let Jordan Love throw the ball 35 times.
See, there's so many elements to the story because, like you said, and this sounds really bad because I love Josh Jacobs and I love having him on the team. But there's an ultimate reality with the financial side of it. If you cut him, there's a lot of cap space that gets added to this team. And with a team that needs a little extra cap space, considering Tucker Kraft needs an extension, Christian Watson's going to need an extension.
Those things tend to open up money.
Yeah.
These extensions tend to open up a little bit more cap room. For the running back market, Anthony, I don't know. There's not a lot out there that looks great in the free agency market or even trading for some backup guys. You're not filling the potential shoe that Josh Jacobs would be missing for 6 weeks. I mean, Emmanuel Wilson did a great job last year for 2 weeks. You see what his value is.
Yep.
Chris Brooks, I wouldn't be mad at it. Like, there's not a lot out in the market or trade possibilities where I'm like, that's a guaranteed win right there because you're just shoring up something for 6 weeks and you have to deal with it for the rest of their contract. Like, you didn't want this guy on the team originally. Like, don't make a panic move to bring in somebody that you wouldn't have kept for another year or 2 years after.
And I'm with you on that one. If the Packers have to move on from Josh Jacobs, I kind of think they'll ride with the guys they have now. Considering Marshawn Lloyd looks healthy, the videos out of OTAs look pretty good. Yesterday it looked explosive. Hopefully his hamstring holds on and stays strong. You still have Damian Martinez, too, who hung out on the practice squad last year. Really good at Miami. I enjoyed watching him play in Miami. So he's also another option if you needed a running back to add to that room if Josh Jacobs steps out of it. Pierre Strong, some people said he had a really good day at practice yesterday. And obviously, like you said, Chris Brooks. Chris Brooks played great when he did touch the field last year, especially in pass pro. He was elite. He was pretty much like another lineman on the field.
Dependable as hell.
Great back. And I started thinking back a little bit in terms of past Packers teams. There's usually not a like great running back. Like you don't necessarily need a bell cow great back for a lot of the past Packers teams that have existed. You just kind of depend on your quarterback to go out and make plays. And ironically, and you touched on this a little bit, a lot of people, myself included, have said, Matt, let Jordan throw the ball. Let him be a gunslinger. And he's not as careless with the ball like we've talked about before as people like to think of him. But let Jordan go out and throw the ball. And if the run game isn't, you don't have a premier back in the stable and you have to depend on the quarterback, then maybe this is the time for Matt to be like, you know what? I trust Jordan. Let him go out there and throw the ball 40 times. I don't want to throw 40 times a game. That's a lot. Let him throw 35 times a game. Let him get the ball out there, and then we'll see my Jordan Love MVP campaign come to fruition.
That's right.
I've been
it was all part of the plan.
It seems like it's kind of aligned in that way. It seems like it's starting to go that way. But yeah, I think they'll hang on to what's in the room now. I don't see them really going outside the room. Especially if it's a 6-game suspension or something like that, there's no need
you just take it on the
bring
chin.
Anybody in.
Yeah, you take it on. You just take it on the chin and keep moving. Now, I wonder because I think we are maybe putting too much of the game plan on Josh Jacobs comparative to the last 2 years and how much he's been involved. Because we did hear Matt LaFleur said they took a long, deep dive through the last 7 years.
Yeah,
got to put some stuff in the burn pile. I said today, hopefully it's jet sweeps. Jet sweeps better be in the burn pile. Third down and short jet sweeps better be in the burn pile. But maybe this is a bigger look at it where, this if it is a 6-game suspension where it won't play that big of a factor because now maybe Matt LaFleur is really building it back from the beginning where it is led by Jordan Love in his arm and his playmaking ability. Jordan Love's not done anything to not warrant the respect, for a lack of better word, to run an offense at a high level where it is a pass-first offense. Because if I can see just a 7.5% boost in passing on first down, they will be significantly better. And I just made up that percentile. I just made it up. But I would love to see them just pass more on first down because I think that elevates them more because when Jordan Love is playing in rhythm, there's not a lot of quarterbacks, if any, that are better than Jordan Love at that point. And the sooner they can get him in the rhythm in a game, they will just beat the hell out of football teams. They will beat the hell out of them.
I agree with that. Especially, I think a piece of the offense that was missing last year for a significant chunk, obviously, was Jayden Reed. And Jayden Reed and his relationship with Jordan Love on the field, he seems to bring out a confidence in Jordan Love. I don't know what it is about Reed being the safety blanket for him in the slot.
Yeah.
But he seemed almost like Cobb was for Aaron, like that same kind of vibe. But I think adding that back this year, and then if we have to be more dependent on Jordan Love's arm early in the season, this might be the opportunity where Matt gives him full reins, full control. Go after it. Go be aggressive. We'll win games on your arm, which it seems like they don't want to do all the time. They get reluctant to do it. Like Jordan will come out with his piss hot throwing. I mean, the Bears' first half just came out
boiling,
shredding the Bears' defense, and then offensive line kind of collapsed in the second half a little bit.
Well, there wasn't a time this year he wasn't cooking them. Even in the playoff loss, he was still cooking them.
Shredded the defense, and we've talked about it too. Jordan Love against the blitz. I mean, you can't blitz him. Man to man. I mean, zone coverage, he's ripping it apart. Man to man, if you're blitzing in a zero,
just gonna outthrow you.
He's gonna kill you with that, with his ball placement. He's a hard quarterback to beat because he has the physical gifts to get it there. And we've talked about the offensive line taking another step. And if they're buying him time, I mean, goodness, who's gonna stop Jordan Love at the end of the day? There's nobody better than him. And there's Patrick Mahomes. Okay, he's the GOAT. He's not the GOAT, but he's baby GOAT. But Jordan Love's an elite caliber quarterback who could be on that level of quarterbacks with Mahomes and Allen and Burrow. I don't put Burrow up there personally anymore, but Burrow, those types of guys, he can be that level of guy if you need him to. And I think that he might have to take that step forward if the run game just doesn't have a premier back that needs to get the ball all the time.
Well, the media is just exhausted with Packers quarterbacks over the last 30 years. That's why he gets as much disrespect as he does, because they're just exhausted. I mean, you can't even name the last quarterback that had any relevancy before Patrick Mahomes. Or, I mean, Carson Palmer for the Bengals?
Yeah, definitely.
The Ravens, Joe Flacco? Like, I mean, we're picking. That's why their relevancy, because and they don't even get me started on the Chicago Bears and their relevancy at quarterback. But
they had a relevant quarterback.
I mean, like Jim McMahon, he won him a Super Bowl. I think that was his quarterback. At least, hell, I don't know. Jim McMahon won with the Packers as a backup, but good for him. But to get back to your part on the slot and why you think kind of Jaden Reed is that comfortable. I mean, you look at all the great quarterbacks that have played. Peyton Manning had Dallas Clark as a tight end, working the slot. Brady had Edelman. I mean, all these quarterbacks that are so good always had that trusted slot guy. Rodgers had Cobb. And I think it is because Jaden Reed is such a matchup nightmare for a lot of teams. Because if you're going to come out in base and you're putting a linebacker on him, you're toast. If you're putting a corner on him, he's going to beat the corner almost every time on like a crosser or drag route. He's just he's going to beat him. That's where Jaden Reed wins. And then when he's lulled you to sleep with drag after drag or slant after slant, hits a double move or like a streak fade, like we saw against Washington that should have been a touchdown. That's where he is just dominating. What he did against Detroit, that's where he's lulling you to sleep. And I think he is going to have a bigger piece in this offense. But I'm kind of over who wide receiver one is going to be. I feel like I'm 2 years later than where Matt was saying he makes me want to throw up. Because I think it is important to have a wide receiver like one.
Yeah.
But if it's designed the right way, which I think Matt LaFleur has done a really good job of doing, if the plays are designed the right way, you're really forcing the defensive hand on. They have to play a certain style of coverage. You know, I think a lot of defenses do a really good job when they are bracketing a wide receiver one like Jefferson. Like we saw Joe Barry do a great job against Justin Jefferson. Joe Barry did a good job against Justin Jefferson because you can tailor that there. You can tailor help everywhere else. When you can't manufacture help on defense, you become bend but don't break.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's going to rip you apart.
He's going to tear that apart every time. And I think that's where I struggle, where a lot of people are like, y'all don't have a wide receiver one. The Packers don't have a wide receiver one. And we talked, I think it was on your podcast last week, where we talked about Aaron in the playoff games against the Niners, where sometimes you get that wide receiver one and you focus too much on that one guy, you lose focus of all the other guys.
Yeah, we see the Rams do it every year. The Rams do it every year.
It happens. It happens with teams that have dedicated wide receiver ones. You got to get that guy the ball. And now your quarterback is focused. I got to get this guy the ball. You're missing out on open receivers. Jordan, because he's played with Dobbs and Watson and Reed and now Golden and Savion Williams, Bo Melton, all these guys have caught passes from Jordan Love. Defenses don't know, who do I stop? They have Jaden Reed right here in the slot on my safety or my backer. He's going to fry that guy on a crosser.
Yeah,
Christian Watson on the outside 101. We put a safety over the top over there. Fine. But now I got to worry about Matthew Golden, who runs a 4.2. I got to worry about that guy as well. Oh, wait. Let me not forget Tucker Kraft is at tight end, and he's a catch and run beast. So where do you can't stop anybody because there's too many weapons coming at you at once.
Yeah, I do think Christian Watson, though, now this season is going to get that respect of a wide receiver one.
Yeah.
Because I predict him to have this leap into superstardom where we start putting him with the top 10 receivers just because he has everything you want. And if your only knack on him is injury, he should already be in your top 10 then.
Yeah.
If that's your only thing that you're holding him back from. And, for these receivers – it is great to have all of them like that or like that, but then you run into situations like the end of the playoff game where Jaden Reed drops a pass at the end. And then Christian Watson, thinks he's getting it in the first window but doesn't elevate in the second window, which would have – those things are there, but they're still young. I mean, these guys are still so young. Yeah. Yes, they have a ton of experience, but they're still young comparatively to a lot of other NFL wide receiver rooms, to where now they all have the ability to still continue to surprise us year in and year out on wow, this guy is this good. This is insane. And just like the Tucker Kraft jump, everybody knew Tucker Kraft be going into last year, but nobody was like, Tucker Kraft about to just blow the roof off this SOB.
Yeah.
And then he did. And it was like, wow, okay. That's a guy right there. And I think that Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, and Christian Watson all have the ability to give you that wow factor when we're at week 5 and they're all top 15 in receiving yards because they just took a immense leap up, mostly because they're healthy.
Yeah, that's the big piece of it is the Packers receivers have had these small nagging injuries that pop up at usually random points throughout the season. And I think you made a good point about Christian Watson. I think because, and I'm pretty sure we talked about this, was the offense looked so much different in that Steelers game. When he came onto the field, it was like, wow, this is a key to this offense. When he's on the field, this is a completely different team versus when he's off this field. And that starts to shift the attention his way. Obviously, you have to pay attention to him because he's 6'4" and runs, 4.3 or whatever he runs at his speed, at his size, just stupid fast. You shift attention his way. He has a big year. I'm thinking it might not be 1,000-yard season, but I'm thinking high 900s. He could be, right at it. Easy.
Whatever the line is on DraftKings, just put your mortgage on it. He's getting over 1,000 yards. He's getting 1,000 yard over easily. Because when he played in that Steelers game, it was like I had been walking around in polluted air for the first 6 games.
Yep.
And then that 7th Sunday night football game, I stepped outside and saw fresh air. Oh my God. This offense can play. Oh wow, everything is just moving in fluidity. This is amazing. Everybody's wide ass open.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft was eating because of it.
Just everything when Christian Watson is on the field is wide ass open. That's how important he is. That's invaluable. You can't put a dollar sign on having the ability to do that. He is what MVS wish MVS could have done back in his years.
Yeah. That would have been nice if MVS could be half of what Christian Watson was.
We would have won a Super Bowl. We would have won a Super Bowl.
Easily would have won a Super Bowl. And if Packers special teams could be semi-decent, Kevin King would never.
Don't you bring up Kevin King's name.
Kevin King would never. And the issue with that, I wasn't too against Kevin King back in the day until that play.
Either.
Until that play was dude, what are we doing?
I liked Kevin King.
I kind of liked you opposite of Jair on that side.
Nah, that's on Mike Pettin. That's a Mike Pettin special right there. I think that was Mike Pettin's last year, 2020.
Get out of here.
SOB. Yeah, get your ass fired. What are we doing? What are we doing with 5 seconds left running a base defense?
On
What
Tom
the
Brady.
hell are we doing?
On Tom Brady. Against the GOAT. Come on now.
See, Anthony, you're 2 for 2 on making me want to put holes in my drywall.
Hey, I want to protect the drywall. we said no holes in the drywall until the regular season starts.
No holes
okay?
until then, and you're giving me some trigger words.
Hey,
trigger.
Y'all look behind Eddie. All those flags are there there's holes back there.
Yep, they're covering
all the holes back there.
Yep. My name's Eddie. Right. I drink Bush. I'm not Kyle with a Monster.
Next topic we're going to hit is OTAs. All right. Yeah. OTAs, we had some on-field work yesterday, which is fun. Shout out to all the reporters and guys who were able to tweet and tell us what was going on in Green Bay, because obviously we're Carolina guys. We aren't able to be up there.
Nope.
So shout out to you guys for giving us information, telling us who's on the field, who's doing what. Appreciate that. But Eddie, day one of OTAs, guys being out on the field, what'd you think?
Why the hell is Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine in the starting group? Why? How long are we gonna put up with this? I'll start day one OTAs my complaining just so there's a track record that goes back 2 years of me complaining about Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine. What are we doing? Cool, Keyshawn Nixon got a pass breakup. Good, you did your job. What about the other 10 times you failed?
I knew you were going to start here. This is Eddie's issue. This is his primary issue. We knew this coming into the season. The cornerback room. We all know the quarterback room's a problem. Keyshawn Nixon obviously had a bad season last year. He's got to tell you it's great because of PBUs. I don't count that because that means you're getting picked on and getting thrown at all the time.
Somebody sees you as a freaking weakness.
They see you and they see baby food, so you're getting PBUs. Carrington Valentine, I don't think you're terrible in coverage. I just think you're not a great tackler.
Hate him as much.
And you can't miss tackles the way you did,
yeah,
buddy.
But it's tackle football, Anthony. It's tackle football. It's in the name. You got to be able to tackle in football. And Carrington Valentine is not good at it.
Yeah.
You don't have to look very far. He's not going to suddenly become Brian Dawkins tackling. He is what he is. Move on. And I get it. St. Juice was in the rehab group. I don't know what he's rehabbing. So
was
something.
Domani was also in the rehab group.
So I'm not saying that's the starters, but Gannon, I'm bringing you Josh Sweat. Get those assholes off the corner. That's the trade we have. The real trade is I give you Josh Sweat. You give me not Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine.
Yeah, I think it was also. I got super excited yesterday when I saw the report that, now granted, it was against Kyle McCord, against the probably backup offensive line, but hearing that Brandon Cisse was screaming off the edge and had a sack that would have lit Kyle McCord up got me extremely excited. And we know we have to take these things with a grain of salt too, because one, they're in shorts. Two, defense beats offense this early in the season. It's really easy
all through training
it's easy for defenses to install their stuff. Defense is pretty simple. Not to downplay defense, but compared to installing an offense, defense is a little easier to get your feet under you.
What is it this time? It's cover 3.
Yeah,
it's 4 quarters. It's not like it's intricate.
Not much to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, the interesting part about the Cisse one is where they had him positioned. I think that is something I could take from that is. Okay, so Gannon's thinking nickel at least, because that's all kind of the information we got, and we have to build this claymation of what's going on in OTAs to kind of figure out where their head's at and where he might play. So thinking nickel because he came off a nickel screen.
They did say that.
Don't like that. Don't like it because Bullard's my nickel, so I like Bullard. Keep Bullard on the field, and I'm sure he worked outside too. I really am just. Really overreacting to this. I'm very well aware of that. But I think it's great. You see, he shows off his explosiveness and that competitiveness that he has. First day OT, I'm gonna go have somebody write my name and type my. People were already going to, but now it's a pop. That was a pop different than anything else that was put out today or yesterday. That's a pop.
Yeah, I think like you said, that competitive fire that he has. It's something that drawn us to Cisse when we hear him talk is just how he seems like a pro. He talks like a pro. He seems to prepare like a pro. So hearing him make a presence on his first NFL practice ever was like, oh, that's pretty sick. Seems like we're trending in the right direction here. Like you said, you're overreacting. We know Bullard's going to be our starting slot. We know he's.
It's just interesting on where Jonathan Gannon or whether it's a secondary coach. I don't know the secondary coach name off the top of my head. I am not that deep into the weeds. I'm in the forest, but I'm not middle of the forest. I'm at the beginning. I'm just taking my endeavor into the forest.
Hey, they're using him as a chess piece. They're using him as a chess piece. The one of the greatest. Well, I think the greatest DB. If we're gonna say DB, the greatest DB ever, Charles Woodson. Was a chess piece. Deion Sanders was a great corner. Deion Sanders is solo corner. It's Deion Sanders. But if we're going DB as a whole, It's Charles Woodson. And if they use him as a chess piece throughout his career, they just learns a bunch of different positions.
He's a little bit shorter. He's a little bit shorter, but you can kind of see by watching his tape that it's like, okay, so the same style of play. Like, I mean, obviously he's not a Heisman runner-up. Yeah. Or I forgot if maybe he did win a Heisman.
Yeah, he won a Heisman.
Yeah.
He won
okay, yeah, he won a Heisman, and then offensive or defensive rookie of the year. Then he won a DPOI with the Packers, and it's like, but the way he plays the game, you can see parts of it with Cisse's game. He's just not as obviously as polished as Charles was when he got to Green Bay. But I mean I like their instincts, but my question is how long is the leash for Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine? Like, is it to camp? Is there a true battle going on in the secondary? This training camp, this offseason, everything incorporated with it. Or are we going to see off the gates Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine week 1?
I would assume it's a true battle, but it's one of those like quarterback battles, right? Where like you say, oh, we have a young quarterback over here, but we also have a vet. We have a vet who's playing, and you let him play for the first 2 games. And then it's like, you know what? Let's get the young guy in there. And the young guy can struggle, but it's better than us letting the vet struggle. And Keyshawn, I believe, is on the last year of his deal, right? I'm pretty sure it's the last year of his contract.
Both are.
You have no real tie to him after this season. So if you choose to sit him down, so be it. And if they want to request a trade, okay, you're probably not going to get it for me anyways. But
go ahead.
We'll release you and keep it pushing. But yeah, I liked what I heard from Cisse yesterday. I don't think the leash is that long for those guys. If it even exists. Hopefully it's a true competition like we're hoping, because we want to see Cisse on the field as soon as possible. Let him get game time experience. And cornerback's a position where if you come in and play well, you can do decent at corner.
Easily fast. Yeah, that they have the highest level of being able to be productive early drafted, right? As soon as they have the highest level of being productive. And I think honestly, I think Keyshawn Nixon and Karen, I bet they're both great human beings. I only judge them on their production, and it ain't great, right? Yeah. So I don't understand how as much tape that's out there. They're tied to 1-year deals. This is basically like signing a free agent to 1 year for vet minimum. Like, you shouldn't be expecting that much out of him anyway. So why would you get penciled in so fast? And I understand why Cisse wasn't in the first team reps right away. I know he got rotated in because he's drinking water through a fire hose right now. I get that, but so's everybody else though on that defense, especially the secondary, because it's all a whole new different scheme. So everybody's on the same playing field. I just hope that at some point, and it's not against Justin Jefferson, say week 1, that we're seeing Keyshawn Nixon getting routed up by Justin Jefferson and Carrington Valentine getting routed up by Jordan Addison. And then what opens that up? Hawkinson in the middle of the field, wide ass open, because there's just not good enough players there. They're just not good enough to play at a high level. And the thing is there is much more unknown with Cisse and St. Juice than what is known with Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn. You know what you're going to get. You know what their best play looks like. And it isn't anywhere close to where it should be. Even at their best, it's still not there. Because even at Carrington Valentine's best, he's, what's it called? The Panthers wide receiver, Tet McMillan. Carrington Valentine couldn't have been in a better position, and Tet still called it. And I get it. Sometimes you win. But there's very few times Carrington Valentine is in perfect position.
Yeah.
And he still lost.
Yeah.
There was that skill gap. That was the one example to come to mind with skill gap.
That one.
Was right there because it was a crucial third down right over the middle of the field. And I was like,
stop. They haven't thrown the ball all game, really. You're in position.
100 yards. He probably had like 109 yards.
He did. I think that was the number exactly, 109. So I get what you're saying, and there shouldn't be an extreme tie to these guys.
It shouldn't be.
Like you said, the performance wasn't there, and this is a what's it called? A meritocracy, where you have to earn your way to be at the top. You have to actually perform in order to be on the field. I know we all play with coaches growing up. They're like, if you can't play, you won't be on the field. This should be like that at the Packers. Got to hold yourself to that standard. And LaFleur, hopefully, looking back and reviewing, we have to have a standard of excellence, because if not, then we're just going to get piss poor performance that we've gotten every other year. You have to be able to say, this year's different. We want guys who are going to perform on the field, who are going to compete. Even if they're getting beat, they're still going to compete every time they're out there. They're going to bust their tail in practice. They're going to try to be leaders off the field, on the field, off the field. and really buy into what the team's doing. So, and it seemed at times to me off the field, Keyshawn didn't seem to fully be buying into what was going on. And it didn't make sense to me because you're not that good of a player to kind of have an ego. You're not that level of guy. You're not.
Oh, he went running to the reporters. When he intercepted that pass against Chicago, he was running to reporters.
Yeah.
And then the game they lost, nowhere to be seen. That's all you need to know about the type of player he is. And the thing is that what's confusing to me is I know the numbers are low, but I wonder if the numbers were higher in that cornerback room, would the Packers have moved off of them like they did the rest of the bad? Moved off Gary, Romeo gone.
That's
when they kind of Brandon McMahon is gone. Like, are they here specifically just for numbers?
I don't know, because if either one of those guys isn't playing, do I see them playing teams? I know there was a report yesterday that Keyshawn Nixon was doing punt return a little bit.
No,
that wasn't Keyshawn Nixon. It was a different Nixon. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was the good Nixon.
different Nixons. I don't see either one of those guys playing.
Ooh, Jay Nixon, running back. He could be in the conversation for that running back room too.
That's also true.
Electric.
You got another running back person.
Yep, he's electric.
I don't know if they're there for numbers, man, because
neither of them play teams. No, and if you're paying these guys for first off, $0 basically when it comes to the NFL salary, $0, $5 million for Keyshawn Nixon, and then a 7th round pick last year of his deal can't be more than like $1.5 million.
Yeah, it's probably like 1.5.
Like these, they could possibly be camp casualties.
Yeah, and that's a realistic possibility, especially with a lot of the people they brought in a lot of corners. They did bring in some corners. I forgot the guy's name from
Wouldn't surprise
Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Beat cancer. You can't beat Keyshawn Nixon on that corner.
If he comes in and competes and he's able to play teams.
Hey, we talked about adversity too. The guy we've talked about, these Packers need adversity. They bring in a guy that beat cancer. That's fucking adversity right there, Anthony. That's adversity. Yeah,
he's fighting.
Fight for your life, let alone beat Keyshawn Nixon on that corner. That should be easy work.
Yeah, I agree. Another thing that stuck out to me OTA-wise yesterday was the defensive line. Talked about a lot of rotation on the defensive line yesterday. A lot of guys getting in and getting out. Elvian did not practice yesterday, but there was still a lot of activity on the defensive line. Hargrave, I saw a video of him. I just got happy seeing a big defensive lineman on the Packers. It got me excited thinking we have a run stuffer, someone that can help in the run game and not let us get gouged like we did against the Panthers. Just knowing the fact that his best year came under Gannon ever in his career, I have high hopes that he can at least perform better than the interior of our defensive line performed last year. That has me a little excited. What do you think about the defensive line?
I just like that they, took team needs into actual equation here, where they saw a definite, like in the positions they had holes at, they filled. With Javon Hargraves, it's like, if I can get anything out of Javon Hargraves, it's great. I know his money's high, but that's the going rate. Yeah. And the thing is, I'm not looking for him to have a bunch of run success. That's what Wyatt is. Even though Wyatt didn't have great rush numbers, the rush defense was just better when he was on the field. But with Hargraves, I want to let him loose. Go get the quarterback. Go sack Kyler Murray. Call him a bitch. Then look over at Flores. Throw him the middle finger. he'll probably be added to the whole lawsuit. But fuck it, it's worth it. It's worth it. And it's like it brings that a-hole syndrome to the defensive line that is needed. Because a lot of these guys outside of Micah Parsons don't have like any pass rush moves. They're all like, I'm just gonna run through your face, which is cool. We're not gonna get any sacks.
No.
But I think Hargraves is going to be able to like not only produce his end, work with Wyatt as well. Like I expect Wyatt's game to be a next level up because the only guy he's ever been around was Kenny Clark, and Kenny Clark was a really good tackle.
Yeah,
a really good nose defensive tackle. You weren't relying on Kenny Clark to get to the quarterback like he did. No. But Javon Hargraves gets to the quarterback. And I think you team that up with Devontae Wyatt's like true athletic ability and his press rush moves, we could have some really good interior defensive linemen coming in with also a good back end rotation too when needed out of Brinson as well. So Carl Brooks getting back to playing a 3-4 defense, I think that bodes well for him.
Yep. I'm all in on this defensive line, man. As I started thinking about it more yesterday.
It's only going to get better.
Wyatt, Wyatt was he was quietly feasting last year before he got hurt, and I think people would have known his name by the end of the season. But I think you give him a healthy year, put him beside a vet like Hargrave, and watch how he eats. And people are like, hold on, who is this Devontae Wyatt guy? It's like he's been there the whole time. You just haven't talked about him enough. And then when you mix Micah back into that equation, who knows how deadly this defensive line can be. Hey guys, thank you for taking the time and listening to this video. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. It means a lot to me, a lot to the channel. Take a quick sec, go ahead and do that, and we'll get right back into the podcast. All right, after talking about OTAs, there's some other news going around Green Bay. Josh Sweat is a possible trade candidate for the Green Bay Packers. Eddie, sell me on why Josh Sweat should be a Packer since you are banging this drum and have been since Gannon's been hired.
Well, I started thinking about it right when the Gannon hire happened. We look back, Josh Sweat played under Gannon with the Eagles. He moved to the Cardinals to follow Gannon, right? He wants out of the Cardinals because Gannon's not there.
Yep.
And they received some calls that they're taking trades. I mean, of course, Philly was on there. I forgot who, Tampa Bay and the Packers. Packers make the most sense. By all of my genius mathematical equations, Anthony, it would only take about a 4th-round pick to trade for Josh Sweat. So there's some very important information that goes along with this. Everything that I am looking at this next year this year and next year is his only guaranteed money left. Mm-hmm. So after 2026 season, which is this season now, he's guaranteed $9.78 million, which is guaranteed going and then nothing after. He's gotten paid all of his $74 million up to this point at the end of the season. So he loses nothing. Now there is some cap number issues here. If they cut him, because he'd be under contract till 2029 with not having to guarantee him any money.
And 29 is a void year, right? I believe.
Yep, 29 is a void year, so it'll be through 28. His cap number would be $23 million the next 2 years after. With no guaranteed money, you could split that up and make that closer to like 12.
Yeah.
Like realistically, he's a 12-sack guy. They wanted him. I'm pretty sure they were going after him in free agency to begin with. Not this previous year, obviously the year before. And he's proven productive under Jonathan Gannon. And guys, I don't know what it is about Jonathan Gannon. Guys that have played with Jonathan Gannon want to keep playing with Jonathan Gannon.
That's true.
I don't understand if it's a scheme thing, if it's a personality, because he shows the media. Nobody knows, but that's just him. But then but then we talk back at like when Cisse made that play. You hear people say, Jonathan Gannon's going Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Woo!
I was very surprised when I saw that report. I was like, he's doing what?
Yeah, people say he's very animated during practice. Like, he's a very energetic guy during practice. And I think what he does is he gives the players the opportunity to unlock their best abilities by putting them in the right position. He's a true Jimmys and Joes, not X's and O's kind of coach. And I think that's very attractive to a lot of players. So I don't think it's going to cost very much to go get him. Like, to me, a 4th round is nothing. The Packers can't afford it, especially with the salary cap going up next year. They can't afford to get Josh Sweat. There's zero doubt about it. And it doesn't make your team worse.
No.
It doesn't make your team worse. And you know what I think is? I think they can even supplement it with a Luke Musgraves trade involved with that.
Add a tight end to the package.
Because as Arizona, they want their big sweat a little bit. They got Trey McBride. Every NFL offense is good. You got to have 2 good tight ends. Older brother Matt couldn't do it with Luke. Maybe younger brother Mike can figure it out with Luke Musgraves. That is something that would be enticing because you're not paying him.
Yeah.
And he's not adding like a wealth of experience, and you're gonna get Tucker Kraft back. It's one of these deals where you can do a Lucas Musgrave in a 6th for Josh Sweat. Possible, like you're not needing to give him a 1st round for him. Like, the guy's not a 1st round talent, but he's better than everything you have in the room right now outside of Micah Parsons, and it really helps fill that gap between when Micah Parsons comes back. And then you look at these other great teams, Seattle, they were pass rush everywhere. Yeah. That's the blueprint. That's how Jonathan Gannon was so successful in Philly. Pass rush everywhere.
Yeah.
And with with Goody having as many picks as he has next year, losing a 4th round. If you're caught up on a 4th round, we don't want to win.
Yeah, I'm not against the trade because
what makes you not like over the moon?
Just because
the
room's just so deep already. There's a lot of people in the room.
Sure.
I know Brenton Cox is probably gone. Once training camp
he started hot.
See, it's so hard because there's so many people in the room now, and I feel like Micah, what he did last year was motivate these young guys and just brought in Deni Dennis Sutton. Like there's so many people at defensive end already.
You can never have enough though, brother. Like
especially pass rush.
Like if they got really Colin Oliver, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like if he's that number of defense ends you keep in, it's like, okay, well, Colin Oliver was always a lottery ticket. Josh Sweat is proven in the National Football League to be a very good edge rusher.
In 22 when he was with Gannon, he had 11 sacks, I think, and then this past season he had the 12 sacks.
Yeah,
and he was a monster. And both times, obviously,
on a terrible Cardinals front, and he was still getting to the quarterback. In that free agency class, he was like the most sought after edge rusher. Yeah. And where did he go? Jonathan Gannon. He went with his buddy Jonathan Gannon, and I don't see a world where he's not a Green Bay Packer, because at this point the more you can get, because you don't want to fall in a position again. The Green Bay Packers cannot put themselves in a position again where they rely everything on Micah Parsons, and he's for any reason it's not there.
Yeah,
you got to have some, because then what you bring in Josh Sweat. Now you don't have to have Micah and Josh Sweat on the field at the same time all the time. You know, you can, especially when Micah's still on his ramp up, and still have some legit pass rush on the field outside of Lucas Van Ness just trying to run through somebody's face.
Yeah, that's
you know, because that's one thing they don't have. They don't have any moves.
We need. I guess you're right in the sense that if they brought in a Josh Sweat, what you have is proven.
Get
production.
older. Yeah, get older.
Proven production, and there's no one on that defensive line that has production up until this point in their career. So I wouldn't be against it now that I'm starting to think about it a little more. You ought to figure out who's getting cut out of this room.
Colin Oliver. That's the easy one. Yeah, because he's in the
gone.
It's easy. He was always a lottery ticket since the time they drafted him. He was, you keep him around if there's nobody else to fill his shoes.
I think another thing that does, if you bring in Josh Sweat, is it proves that you're in you're really in a win now mode.
Yeah,
and you're trying to compete now.
They have too many picks next year. They have too many.
Yeah,
they cannot draft all.
Yeah,
they're in a position where they have too many picks next year to be able to draft at every spot. It costs too much money for draft picks, and how many more positions can you saturate? It's not possible. So it's like, all right, let's get rid of the 4th, so then we can turn a 7th and a 6th into a 4th later. By trading up, that's got to be the thought process that Goody's thinking, somewhere along those lines. And they've already there's been reports out that I think it's Easton. I can't remember his first name on
Easton
Twitter.
Butler?
Yeah, Easton Butler. Yeah, he's already put out that they've had multiple talks. Oh. That guy's a holy grail to me. People would love to say he's wrong, but I ain't ever seen anybody else talk about it and it hit close.
Talking about it months ago.
Yeah, and I immediately had right around the hire. I have a short on my YouTube that talks about, could Josh Sweat be a potential option to add? And then I was like, yes, it makes all the sense in the world. Players tend to follow their coaches everywhere. Yeah. Coaches that they love, they trust, they want to continue to grow with. It's the same reason Zaire Franklin went there. Yep. Same reason Javon Hargraves went there. We haven't seen this before, especially in Green Bay, let alone the NFL, where it's I want to go play with that coach.
Yeah, no,
that guy. I want to go with him. So go 3 for 3, and if the consensus is a 4th, what it would really be is probably a 5th.
I'll take it for a 5th.
Well, because you got to think Arizona knows that he's not going to play with him. He's made enough money to where he's like, fuck it, I won't go to training camp. It ain't gonna hurt me.
I wonder if that happen after training camp.
I've made $60 million of my already 74. I prove it for a year with Green Bay. I take a structured deal for the next 3 years, and I'm competing for a championship for the next 3 years. What the hell are we waiting on?
That's a win.
I mean, like that's my thought process for it because you're not gonna. He knew he was never gonna win anything in Arizona too.
Yeah.
He knew that, but he went there for his guy Jonathan Gannon.
I think that's something as I'm thinking about it too, because they have a joint practice together later in training camp. Do we hold off? Hey, let's make sure there's no bad blood or anything weird going on while we have these joint practices. We'll trade him to you right before the season starts, kind of like you got Micah. We'll make sure he's ready to go, and then you can have him after we hash out our preseason game.
No, I think that deal gets done in the dead period between now, like OTA minicamp, and then actual training camp. That month of dead time, I think that's when that gets done because of these joint practices. I mean, it makes sense, you know. Matt gets to bully up on little brother Mike, you know, and they get. I think that's going to be like a really interesting week right there. It's just kind of like the gamesmanship of it. Like you get to see, like everybody gets to see their own like sibling rivalries, like on display for like this one little week. Because if we're being honest, I don't think Mike LaFleur is going to be a head coach that long. I mean, I really don't. Nothing against the guy. I just think, you know. He isn't the same caliber of coach Matt LaFleur was when Matt got hired.
Yeah.
So, and Arizona was just looking for a name more than a style. And I think they will. I think because it's one of those things we'll really know if they trade him, that'll tell you that Mike LaFleur has a lot of leash in Arizona. Like he's got at least 3 years. Because I mean, when you draft a running back in the first round, you're not looking to win football games. No. you get rid of your coach.
An offensive line.
Yeah, it feels like they're doing a lot of what the Dolphins did. And what did the Dolphins do? Got rid of their best talent.
So that's true. I guess they clear house and then hold on.
His contract's not bad.
Pieces. No, it's not.
No, for 12 sacks,
so much of it was guaranteed.
Yeah,
on the front
and
end.
Arizona already paid that.
Yeah.
Arizona already paid it. We would just have to hit the cap number, which is still not. It was $23 million over the next 2 years.
That's not bad.
Which you can restructure, give them some guaranteed money, and get that shit down to like 12.
We're paying that
It's only
to a
23
running back right now, so I think paying that to an edge rusher isn't that bad of a spot to be in.
Well, it's surely as hell more important than a running back.
Running back, yeah, it is.
Like, you know, this is like smoke and mirrors. Like the running back room right now is just smoke and mirrors for what's really important. Just like how the news does it. They all want to confuse you with all these extra X, Y, and Z things going on in the world. But really, here's the root of all problems right here that we're not showing you, and that's going to be Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat is because there's rumors. Is there smoke? There's fire.
Yeah, for sure.
There's
and
smoke,
I mean, it was kind of, it wasn't as public, the Micah stuff last year, but I don't know if it was Easton or somebody on Packers Twitter who started floating around this Micah talk. And
it was like, Easton, yeah.
I was like, hold on. This seems like it's gaining legs. And I was talking to my coworker about it, and I was like, so there's a plane that's going from Dallas to Green Bay.
No,
it's Micah.
I'd say no. I didn't believe any of that. I believe the actual thought process, though.
You're out of your mind. That's not happening. And then I think it was no joke, like the next day that it happens at like 5 o'clock. And I ran out of the office screaming. And my coworker's like, what happened?
We got Micah.
Eagles fan. And I go, we got Micah. He's like, no, you didn't. And I said, I wish I was lying. Adam Schefter said it. We got Micah.
I remember Monday seeing some actual tread to it. And I was like, this is going to happen. And I'm like texting my buddies, like, don't be surprised. I think like there was too much traction that you don't see anywhere else. Like, there's too many people saying that this is a thing. And it makes sense. Because the one thing that came to mind was Micah and Jordan went to like Saudi Arabia somewhere together.
Best friends.
And we're best friends. And I'm like, best friends love to work together.
Yeah. Especially in a sport. Like,
yeah, and because money was never going to be the issue. It was never like, it was like, where do you want to go? Who do you want to go play with? Your best buddy.
I was very surprised that they would trade him to Green Bay, though. That just seems like a team that's owned you in the playoffs.
It's still watching him play is still, I can't believe it. Thank
you, Jerry.
This must have been what it felt like for kids in the 90s when Reggie was on the team, where it's like every other week I'm just like, are we serious? This guy's actually on the team? Like even mentioning him in his it's ridiculous. And I think like doing that, you want to always elevate your best players, right?
Yeah.
And we look at a lot of positions where they brought in Zaire Franklin to elevate Edrin Cooper. You bring in Evan Williams to elevate McKinney. Corners, not real set there. But there's nobody to elevate Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Or Micah Parsons that has shown to elevate anybody else on the field.
True.
I think Micah this would be a really good fun relationship between Micah and Josh Sweat, because Josh Sweat is good enough to every once in a while get a double team. Not at a high level, but you cannot do that with also Hargraves and White on the field as well. Like, that's where you cannot double team somebody. You force issue, especially if you add in a edge Cooper blitz, somebody's getting sacked and sacked fast.
You add Josh Sweat, and I'm not saying it's going to be as good as this defensive line. Obviously, you have to wait until it pans out and stuff. But the Texans' defensive line, the Packers' defensive line, if at full capacity, could be similar to what the Texans have going on. Premier
Micah needs his Danielle Hunter.
Exactly. He needs his Danielle Hunter to help free him up on the other side, and he's getting one-on-ones all the time. It's like, well, who's stopping Micah one-on-one? Nobody.
No, not a soul. There's not a person alive. There's not a person alive that can stop. I don't know if there's been a person that's walked God's green earth that could stop Micah Parsons one-on-one.
No.
I don't think there is.
Jonathan Ogden, good luck, buddy. I think Micah still got you.
Yeah, you're too fat. Sorry, you need to be like 305 and the best that's ever the game's ever seen to beat Micah one-on-one for a full game.
People love to talk about Panay Sewell right now in terms of tackles in the league.
He ain't it.
He can't stop Micah.
He ain't. He's good
every time they play against each other.
Yep, he's really good. There's not a bad thing about Panay Sewell, but then there's Panay Sewell, and then there's Micah Parsons up here.
Premier edge rushers is just different.
It is. It's ridiculous. And then when you can get somebody that's in that sphere, like sphere of good,
a double-digit sack guy to put on the other side.
The Packers haven't seen that outside of Micah since like Clay Matthews.
No, haven't seen that.
I don't know if Rashawn Gary even had a double sack year. If he did, it was one, and it was like I didn't.
Most he had was 9.
Yeah, I haven't. And then I don't know. Maybe Zadarius had 10.
I think Zadarius might have had a low double.
But he was a splash guy where he would look really good on one play to get that sack. But he wasn't dominant like Micah is. But it's just like there has not been a guy that rules the pass rush even close. I mean, Rashawn looks really good before his ACL injury. Really good. Really, really good. But it makes all the sense in the world. And sometimes that's when shit does not happen, though, that I'm preparing myself for is, even though it makes all the sense in the world, maybe Arizona's asking for too much when it's like, you're not winning anything for the next 7 years. Relax. Just give me this guy. We're not playing you this year. We're playing you in preseason. We're probably not playing you next year either. Relax. We'll give you a fourth you'd have to pull my arm for a 4th round pick. You'd have to be like, all right. We tried 5th. We tried a 6 and a 5. We tried everything. Okay. All right. 4 is the 4th get it done. Because also in that same part, he's going to want a new contract as well, Josh Sweat, I believe.
Yeah,
probably. He's going to want some more assurance after this year, because it's not like he's hitting free agency next year. He wants guaranteed money. He wants to be able to, which is fine. I get it. I mean, I'd want the same thing as a player.
Sure.
Like, guarantee me something, or tell me that we're going to restructure out a deal. That's why I think this might take a little bit longer than your typical trade, because they're going to have to restructure that deal to make it beneficial for both parties. Let's get your cap number down, because when you signed that deal, he had to know he was going to get traded after this season at least. He was going to get moved.
Yeah, I would assume so, given the amount of money that was guaranteed on the front end. How much the Cardinals decided to eat early. I mean, for a season, they got a lot of production out of them. If they only have one season of Josh Sweat, you got, 12 sacks out of him. So, I mean, that's a win. But, yeah, I'm sold on it now. I think you fully sold me on the fact that I want Josh Sweat on the Packers.
Yeah,
it doesn't hurt anything.
Yeah, it's not like it's some game-breaking, gonna make the defense elite, but I think what it does is it gets them closer to 1 than it does to 5.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to, like, overall, like, through the game success, like, throughout the 60 minutes of the game, they get closer to a top 1 defense than they are a 5 to 10 defense. And I think that's where they need to get better at, is a closer to 1 to close out games. You need to be closer to 1 than 5 to 10, because they've been 5 to 10 for 45 minutes of the game, but then 15 minutes or 32nd. Like, you need more than just a closer. You need, Like Mariano Rivera was not the only bullpen guy the Yankees had.
He was.
They had other guys too. So it's like you gotta be able to get more guys, and you'll never find a team that says no to more good edge rushers.
Never.
I mean, if they're available, you try and go get them with everything you got, because that's the only way they're going to be able to get players like this too. And I think Brian understands that now. Is that they at this level of sustained success, they're not going to be drafting in the top 10 unless substantial, just terrible things happen, which is a Jordan Love injury. That's the only thing that's ever going to get them close to 10. Is that so? You're going to have to give up future draft capital and just play it that way. And maybe that's a trend that goes over the next few years, where it's like, I'll give up a first to get a premier player and pay him, because the cap space is going to be out of this world coming up.
Keep growing.
Out of this world. So get them now, win now, and then figure out the landscape after. Go win now and figure it out later, because that's all you're away from. Because that only helps. Josh Sweat only helps Cisse, St. Juste, Nixon, and Valentine.
For sure.
Like, there's nothing he brings that you're like, we lost against the run. And I think one more thing is, because I know I've been going on a lot about Josh Sweat, because it's just my mental thoughts.
No, that's why I wanted you to talk about it.
In the 3-4, somebody has to usually drop out and cover from the line.
Yep.
There's no one on the current roster that can do that. But I think Josh Sweat, the way his body is built, the way he is as a player, I think he can drop into coverage in like a small curl flat. I think he fits that body and build it, and understanding last year, playing under Gannon, he knows exactly what you want, instead of having somebody, a Lucas Van Ness, a Danny Dennis Sutton, that has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Do it. That's why I was like, okay, this transaction works to where, you can re-sign him for 2-3 years and it'd be a 1-year deal. Like, that's and you still get him as guaranteed money. That's why it just makes too much damn sense to not give up a 4th-round pick to go get him, because that's what ChatGPT told me, and ChatGPT does not lie.
ChatGPT would never lie to us. We're well aware of that fact. AI loves all of humanity and wants all of us to flourish and get all of the things that we want in this life. And if that's Josh Sweat for the Packers, ChatGPT says a 4th-rounder, so it has to be a 4th-rounder.
And Google AI, same thing. And they're better than ChatGPT.
Gemini knows everything.
So let me ask you, to play devil's advocate, what would not get you hooked on? Like, why were you not hooked before?
I think for some odd reason, I have faith in a few of the guys that are in the room. And one of them being Lucas Van Ness. He's had problems with injuries. Isn't the best at using moves. But last year, at the beginning of the year before he got hurt, he played really good. And
to his like where he's been, he played out of his mind comparatively to the years before. And up to that point, all we saw him do was sack Justin Fields his first year. That was his highlight reel, was Justin Fields sack.
Brother. Like, sure, you sack Justin Fields. He just doesn't throw the ball anyways. But because I saw that in him, and he seemed to be the only edge rusher opposite of Micah that had energy on the field and played hard, I was like, man, I really like what he showed last year. Yep. And then I'm in love with the Dennis Sutton, because I watched him brutalize Clemson in the Pinstripe Bowl. And he stuck with me ever since then. From that game, I was like, that guy's a beast. He's ruining the game. The Penn State was dropping him back in coverage a little bit, having him spy Cade, because Cade Klubnik could run the ball. Pretty athletic guy. But Dennis Sutton had this closing speed. I was just like, nah, Cade, you're not going anywhere. I'm going to shut this game down. And it was fun to watch him play. Okay, it wasn't fun in the moment because I hated him, and he was ruining Clemson's game.
That's what's so crazy about watching like college sports too. Is like, because I follow my dad's team, who is Ohio State, so I watch all those games, and I'm like, anybody they play good, I'm like, fuck that guy, and the Packers end up drafting. I'm like, okay, I like this guy.
Love him, love that guy actually. So I think I just got hung up on a few of those guys, and Warren Brinson too. I think Warren Brinson kind of got me excited. Wasn't the Vikings game at the end of the season last year where he was kind of balling? It's like, wait,
him and Sorrell were just going nuts.
Wait, hold on. I think Micah's starting to work with you guys. Maybe you have something new. So I just kind of wanted to see what happened in camp with a few of those people, to see if they brought that same energy into this season and progressed and got a little bit better. I think that was my only holdup when I heard about the Josh Sweat trade rumors. I mean, if it is a fourth, though, you're giving up a fourth-round pick to go get Josh. What does it hurt?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a money thing. Like, people want to say, "Oh, we just paid Lucas." Money is not a real thing in the NFL. That is, especially when you're in the salary cap space that the Packers are in. Like, somehow, if the Saints can somehow still field a football team in their salary cap hell, the Packers are like living at the Ritz-Carlton every single day with the cap space they're in. Where it's okay, you add another void year. Fuck it. Who cares? Like, but these you
cap gymnastics to get around.
Yeah, like some people have to start copying what the Eagles are doing. Like, fuck them picks.
Watch how we manipulate. I'm ready, and this is Packers related real fast. I want to see what he does with AJ Brown. What is he going to demand for that AJ Brown trade? He's going to get something from the Patriots, like
a third.
A second. It has to be a second.
No, Devontae Adams got a second. He's not Devontae Adams.
I mean,
he's not
for the Patriots' needs.
Yeah, but because they need it doesn't mean they need to pay a premium.
I'm just saying, man. When teams
there's like maybe
never mind. Elliott Wolf's over there. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah,
never mind.
Yeah. Elliott Wolf's smart. He's a Packer.
Elliott Wolf's
He's a Packer.
He's not going to do anything.
But it's also like they have to know their marketplace for AJ Brown, or else he would have been traded by now. There's maybe only maybe 5 teams that are willing to trade for AJ Brown.
Yeah,
I mean he's good. AJ Brown's a dog. He's not in anybody's conversation for a top 5. That would get you a first-round pick. Top 10, that'll get you a second-round pick. Maybe a first.
People argue second top 10 for that second rounder.
That man disappeared more than Casper the Ghost in like half the Eagles games.
I'm with you.
Bitching and complaining and crying. Like he is
the quarterback stuff.
That's why he can only get paid in his trade comp based off of his production. No, I don't care what his quarterback. And as good as Devontae Adams was, who historically a good wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers, historically good.
Yeah,
got a second-round pick.
That's a fair point.
When they didn't have to trade him, they could have been like, "Fuck you were playing," because he signed the tag, franchise tag. Fuck you playing, and what he got, second-round pick. Like, there's just, trades are ridiculous in today's. We look at DeAndre Hopkins in his prime, like a 4th and a 6th. These wide receivers are more dime a dozen than running backs are. And it's like, AJ Brown, you're great. You weren't the reason the Philadelphia Eagles got to the Super Bowl or won them in any of those games. Yeah,
it was Jonathan Gannon, actually.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about.
I mean, if we're being real about it, if we're being real, it wasn't you. You know, you weren't Randy Moss on this Eagles team.
No.
Like, you've had really good plays. The Titans wanted to get rid of you for a reason. Now the Eagles are probably getting you ready for the same reason.
Yeah, I think I did factor that into my thought process of what it would take, because he seems to want out of every team after like 3 years.
No, he's
for a guy that doesn't want to be here the rest of his career.
He wants to be a 120 reception receiver when he's really a 75 reception receiver.
He's a DK Metcalf.
Yes, Uber. He looks like looks like Zeus looks like Tarzan plays like Jane.
What a statement.
I mean, that's how I look at a bunch of combine players too. AJ Dillon looks like Tarzan plays like Jane.
Yeah,
I love AJ Dillon. He's a mayor of Door County.
Some people are talking about trying to bring him back with some running backs.
No,
what are we talking about?
You know what? People
can't get a yard.
Anthony, people don't remember 2015 when the Packers went like 15 weeks without a rushing touchdown, and Aaron Ripkowski, a fullback against the Lions, scored the first rushing touchdown, let alone the year they didn't have a running back, so they said, Ty Montgomery, you're it.
Savion Williams, you're going to running back, brother.
Which would not be the craziest thing they've done, which it would not blow my mind. You've got to do something with Savion Williams, too. I think that's also a great topic, is you got to do something with Savion Williams. He's not polished yet enough to be a true wide receiver. He's your gadget guy. Why not? You already doing quarterback runs with him, basically.
Yeah.
Why not get him? If it is the worst case scenario possible, he's shown the ability to run in between the tackles at TCU and in space. It wouldn't be the worst idea if it is, like, let's say the worst case is Josh Jacobs suspended 6 weeks. Marshawn Lloyd gets hurt. All right, so we're done with Chris Brooks, Damian Martinez, and Pierre Strong. Savion Williams is better than all those guys at running the football.
We're talking about giving a person a ball in space and saying go run.
Run.
Give me
He's the
Savion
best.
Williams.
So really, I think that might be something of a topic that's not talked about. That is a possibility, because when we looked at those teams before, James Starks was hurt. They brought in, I remember, what's his name? Christian Michael. I think he was a guy from Seattle that had a great game against the Bears.
Yeah.
And then you had Ty Montgomery's great game against the Cowboys, where it's just like, we don't care about running back. And I hope that goes when it goes forward, goes back, going back to go forward.
Yeah.
Because Jordan Love is that good, just as Aaron Rodgers is that good. Running back, don't care.
You can pick and choose running back.
Yeah, the best running back Aaron Rodgers ever had was fucking Aaron Jones.
And Aaron Jones
was still far significantly better than
good running back, but in no one's eyes was a great running back. Aaron Jones wasn't some top tier level of running back with breakaway speed or any crazy traits.
He wasn't. You were never putting Aaron Jones in the top 5 conversation, and I think that's when the Packers offense has always worked at its best in recent history. Is quarterback's going to win you football games.
Yep.
And if you're paying Jordan Love the money you're paying him, which is market value,
yep,
he should be your focal point.
Agreed.
Not a mixed match offensive line and Josh Jacobs. Yep. I love Josh Jacobs. I think he's a great running back
for sure.
But it seems to be he needs all the things in front of him to work at a high level or high-ish medium level for him to be successful. It was even in that mosh pod that was the year he had a great year. It wasn't great, but it was a whole lot better than it was last year. Yeah. And you can't hang your head. But one thing you can always hang your hat on is Jordan Love's going to sling that football now.
Yeah, you got a young gunslinger at quarterback. You can depend on him, Matt. Get Jordan Love the ball. Go get him. Hey, go get him another defensive weapon, maybe for a 4th rounder. Improve the team. Help expand this championship window that the Packers are currently in. Capitalize on it. There's a lot of stuff positive coming out of Green Bay right now.
Yes.
In the midst of all the negative that's going on around the Josh Jacobs situation. The Packers have a lot to be positive and happy about, especially with OTAs, especially just seeing the defense still playing well. Evan Williams coming out and picking off Jordan Love.
Happens. Again, keep throwing around. The more picks, the better for Jordan Love in training camp.
Just get it done.
Aaron Rodgers. I remember there was a time that Aaron Rodgers threw a pick to we signed in free agency from Cleveland. God, I can't remember that linebacker's name. But I remember I was like, oh, we got a true linebacker. That guy stunk. He was the worst. Christian something, I think, or I don't remember. He came from Cleveland, and he was a stud. And I was like, oh, he's picking them all. He's picking off Aaron Rodgers. You pick off Aaron. But then I also remember Aaron Rodgers has thrown interceptions in 7-on-7 against high schoolers. So I was like, okay, this means nothing. But throw the more interceptions Jordan Love can throw in practice and in training camp, the better. That means he's trying things out. It doesn't mean that he's like playing bad, X, Y, Z. He's trying out new things. I love it. More of it. Can I take another, Anthony? Can I take another interception, please?
Yeah, I'll take another one. I mean, try out stuff, Jordan. Know the limits of your arm so that by the time game time rolls around, we know what to do and what not to do. The defense is going to have their fun with it, obviously, at practice. They're going to hype it up. And
they're always in the advantage.
That's what defenses are going to do. And I'm happy that the defense is at least attacking the football. At least we're trying to catch the ball and turn it over and go the opposite way.
That's a new thought. At least we're learning something year over year.
Gannon said it. Gannon said he wants to take the ball away from him.
Yeah.
So did Jeff Hafley. But
Ball King. But that, when you call something Ball King, you're not getting that. When you're like, but you look at my last thing here is when you look back at the Arizona Cardinals defense, I encourage every listener to go back and watch them after week 8. They were turnovers galore. They were getting turnovers like nobody's business, and it was because of Jonathan Gannon and the positions he put these players in. And that is the key, is he's got to put these guys in the right position. Because Nixon, you don't want to catch interceptions? Get the hell off the field.
And I think we'll see that. All right, so I'm here during post recording this video. That's why I look a little different. But file got corrupted. Didn't get the outro on the video. But had fun recording that podcast with Eddie. Let me know if you guys enjoyed it, if you had fun. listening to us talk about the Packers OTAs, what's going on so far, what running back options you think are available for the Packers, and what you think about the Josh Sweat trade. If you don't mind, again, one more time, like and subscribe to the video. Love you guys. Appreciate you for watching. And as always, go Pack Go.